Hey guys, kia ora, whakalofa lahi atu, and no mai hoki mai. Welcome back to this week's podcast episode. I am so grateful that you are here as always. Ngā mihi nui kia koe. And I just got back from a retreat a couple of days ago. This retreat, y'all, I can't even put in words. I think I may do a podcast episode about this in the future. If you have listened to my previous retreat podcast, you know the things that happen at these retreats is just fucking crazy. So maybe I'll do that at another time. But this week's podcast is all about taking photos and loving photos of yourself. Actually, it came from retreat. One of the girls at retreat, actually retreat was such a beautiful space to be amongst women and really see how body image, how self-love, how confidence really affects women. And one of the women there asked me, she was like, so do you love every photo of yourself? And I was like, well, I mean, no. Like, if I'm honest, as a self-love and confidence coach, the answer is no. But the thing is that when I see these photos, right, and imagine that someone takes a photo of you, maybe it's off guard, maybe it's a group photo, and you're like, please, I hope I look good. And then they take the photo, you look at it, you're zooming in on yourself. You're like, oh my gosh, is that what I look like? No, that's disgusting. Delete it. Let's go again. You try to suck your tummy in or do the correct posture or pose or something like that, right? And when you see that photo, it's like, oh, that's so disgusting. Oh my gosh. And you make it mean all these things. You make it mean I'm not good enough, I'm disgusting, I'm ugly, I'm worthless, I'm not lovable, I'm not desirable. You know, it's that sinking feeling in your stomach, you know, the panic that, oh my gosh, no, is this what I look like? Is this what everyone's seeing? And the difference for me is that this used to happen for me. Don't get me wrong, I used to be that way. But now what happens is I look at it and I'm like, like, you know, I don't make it mean anything about me. I don't make it mean I'm not good enough, I'm a bad person, and all the things. I look at it and I'm like, wow, that's what I look like from that angle, right? And I really invite you to have the curiosity when it comes to photos. When you see a photo of yourself, or someone takes a photo, or you ask a stranger to take a photo of you, and then you look at it, instead of, you know, looking at the photo and picking out all your flaws and all the things that's wrong and you should have posed this way and that way and the other and all these things, right? I wish I could change all these things, you know. Just have the curiosity. Just be like, okay, so that's what I look like right now, or that's what I look like in that angle. It's looking at this photo and not having any judgment, right? And if you do notice you're looking at the photo and you're judging it hard and everything, close the phone down. Close it. Choose not to look at that photo right now. Come back to it at a later date, at a later time, and you can unpack all the things that are coming up for you. But when you look at the photo, just have curiosity looking at it. And a lot of people don't actually know what they look like, right? You know, so sometimes because every time you take a photo, you know how to pose, you pose in this certain way, and that's the way you always know you look good at and all the things. So when there are photos where you maybe are caught off guard, or you're trying a different pose out or something like that, and you see it, you get to judging it straight away because you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I look like that. You don't know what you look like at certain angles, especially if you don't take a lot of photos and videos of yourself. I do take a lot of photos and videos of myself, especially with what I do, right? I know a lot of angles. I've seen a lot of photos of me from different angles, from behind, from the side, at my biggest looking state with my double chin out and all the things. And then I also know the poses where I know how to pose to make sure I look flattering, and that's in quote unquote, you know, marks as well, because what even does that mean, right? I know these, you know, ways that where I like the way that I look in certain ways and not, right? So even doing that, even getting around mirrors and photos and stuff like that, and taking lots of photos and observing and witnessing and having curiosity, that really helps as well, right? But there's no judgment in these spaces. It's not making it mean all these things. And also, when you do see photos and you're making it mean these things, or a thought's coming up, grab that thought, because you'll find more often than not, whatever the thought is, oh my gosh, my overhanging tummy, oh my gosh, I look like a fat pig, oh my gosh, my big fat nose, oh my gosh, or whatever it is, right? I need to tuck my tummy in, whatever it is, you'll find that that isn't even your thought, right? You've been programmed, you've been conditioned by your mom, your dad, your caregivers, media, all the things, to think that the way that you look is not okay. And the best thing I could have did with for myself was realize that all the insecurities that I had, they weren't even my insecurities to begin with. And I get to choose if I want to carry and I want to hold them, or if I want to release them, right? And give them back to the person who placed it on me, right? So that's also, and there's a podcast, I think it's called Insecurities Are Learned. So check that podcast out. There's also a podcast about taking photos and the way you see yourself. So go back and look through my podcast episodes and give those a listen, because it will go in more depth there. But I want you to know, like with these photos, sometimes there are going to be photos that you don't particularly like of yourself, right? It's having the curiosity and also not making it mean anything about you, just, oh, that's what I look like from that angle. Interesting. It's not making it mean that you're disgusting, you're not enough, and all the things. And that's where that deep self love comes in, right? Because no matter what photo you see, what angle, bad lighting, great lighting, whatever, you could look any type of way. Deep down inside, you still know you are that girl. You still know that you are fucking worthy. You are enough. You are amazing as you are, right? No photo can change that. No photo can take you on this downward spiral of self-hatred, right? And also that these photos are moments and times, right? They're memories. They're things you can look back on, memories. They're photos you can share for memories. They're photos you can share family members and stuff like that. This is what I'm up to, especially if they live in a different state and all the things. You're capturing this beautiful moment in time, and can you just allow it to be that? It's a beautiful moment in time, and that's what you happen to look like in that moment in time. But that doesn't mean that your whole value, your whole beauty, your whole worth, your whole everything is in that photo. No, it's just a moment in time. It's just a flicker of time in life, right? And don't make it mean anything more, right? You're more than the photo or the angle that you didn't like, or the bad posing that you didn't like, and all the things. And I'll leave you with this, but when I do get photos taken of me, and most of the times, when photos are taken, I never really look at them on the spot. I'll look at them later on in time, maybe if I'm in bed late at night and I'm like, oh, I'll take a look at the photos took from today or whatever, right? And I look at them, and there are photos that I don't particularly like. Firstly, I don't make it mean anything about me, but also I get to learn to love them, right? When I step in with that curiosity, I'm like, oh, is that what I look like from that angle? The more I see it, I learn to love it, right? And this is also a lot of the work that I do, is I help women with these quantum shifts, with these quantum leaps, right? One moment you can hate this photo, the next you can absolutely love it. It's these quantum leaps that we can do, and it's a shift in the way that we're seeing things, and the reprogramming, the rewiring, and all these things. And I literally do it with myself. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't particularly like that photo, but I can easily switch it. I can easily move into a loving state, and being like, fuck, actually, this is a fucking cool photo, because that's all of me, and that's what I look like, and how fucking beautiful that is me, because, I love all of me, and I get to choose to love all of me, and not just when I am posed in a certain way and got certain angles, and, my flattering angle and all these things. It's like, no, loving all of me regardless. So this is also some of the work that I help women do. It's those quantum shifts from, you hate what you look like to you love what you look like. You hate the photo to you love the photo, and all the things. And I'll wrap up in saying, if this speaks to you, if you're like, fuck, I need help with this, oh, yep, I hate every photo that I see, or it really gets me down when I see a photo that I don't think is flattering or that I don't like, I welcome you to come and do the work with me. Come and work with me in Destination Self Love or in the Quantum Confidence Leap, my one-on-one coaching program. Either way, I'd love to help you through and support you to having the ultimate self-love, right? Looking at photos and fucking being obsessed with what you look like, loving what you see. I'll leave all the links in the show notes, but that's it for this week's podcast. I love you. Ka kite, koe kia.